Okay. English. I've discovered this new YouTube channel, and they're amazing. Like, oh my, like, oh my, like, okay. I sometimes like lose hope, and I'm just kind of like, yo, like the world sucks. Like I suck. Like everything sucks. Blah. Um. Sorry. I don't know what that was. It wasn't really a sneeze. um. um. What the hell was that though? Oh, okay. Right. Anyways, sometimes like I lose hope or whatever and I like get in a bad mood. We've seen more of that recently because I've just overthink and like seclude myself because like I don't know. Just it's hard for me to like interact with people when like a lot of fears happen where I'm like they must be busy. Like they don't want to hang out with me. Like who wants to hang out with me outside of school? Like they probably barely tolerate me inside of school. Like why would they want to tolerate me outside of school? And then just continuous fears like that, which are irrational, but like I can't help them. So like anyways, so but then and so like I usually lose like my funk and I'm just kind of like upset and like blah, and that's been happening a lot lately because it's summer and a lot of times my moods rise when I have nothing to do, so aka summer. And so and even if I have the opportunity to do something, like I'll sometimes back out of it because like I just don't think I can handle it because like I'm just kind of like yeah, like I no, it's it's so bad. Anyways, so but then I meet certain people or I watch certain people and I'm just like my mind is blown and I'm like bro, I don't know why I keep saying bro and yo. Like, do I look like I'm from the 80s? Like an 80s hip hop band? Like what the I need help. I need could someone just like bleach my brain, please? Like it just needs help. Like it needs to be cleansed. um but anyways, so and sometimes like I'll meet or I hear about or I watch certain people who are just like so like open-minded and so loving and they like are so like inspiring cuz like they just like go above and beyond like their limitations and just like push every possible limit, either if it's something physical like they're disabled or if it's something mental or if it's something like society, like they just push it out of like this world and just like go above and beyond and like it just is insane. And like there's so many people like that, but they're kind of like shut down by society because a lot of them are different and they don't fit into society's like expectations, and so they get like kind of like hidden and like not given the attention that they need because they're like phenomenal, but like people don't hear about them because society doesn't want you to hear about them because like they don't fit into the cookie cut world of society that like they want to put on you. And like everyone thinks that like everyone has like these normal things where they're supposed to stay in suburban life or like have families, blah blah blah, like a daughter and a son, like raise them for college, go off to college, blah blah blah, like just these ridiculous, like stupid expectations that society has. And granted, they're lessening, particularly in this generation, but it's like it's still a lot of people like still have that, and it's frustrating because like it's just like you just expect these things to be normal, but they're not. They're just what society wants you to believe is like everyone, and it's not. Like not everyone is like this, and some people are amazing and like unique and like do amazing weird things that don't fit into society's expectations. So the news, everyone like doesn't like bring it up, like they don't talk about it, like they don't like talk about these amazing people who deserve the attention instead of the latest and greatest serial killer. Like, just really, or like this fire or something. Like, just like a lot of stuff. I feel like the news and everything like just loves to magnify like the bad, just to like rise fear out of everyone and make them like want to watch the news. And I feel like it would be so much better if they had like news shows specifically meant to like make you happy. Like, they don't have negative things, or if they do put negative things in there, it's like only things that are like actually important. Like, there's a wildfire near this place and like it's important that you know this, or there's like a murderer or something near this place. But don't talk about stuff that's like already happened and not important. It's kind of like, oh yeah, this random ass person died, like that's great. Like, okay, this might sound insensitive, but like, it's sad, but everyone dies. Like, do you need to focus on that so much? Like, you're gonna get people depressed. And like, just, it's just like, that's why I hate watching the news, because it's so negative. And like, it's either negativity or politics. Like, that's literally all the news is nowadays. And it's just like, and it's probably been how the news has been since the news has started. And granted, the news started like as a thing that was actually important, and it still kind of is important. I mean, I get it, but like, at the same time, like, just like, I don't know. Whoa. But anyways, then there's like these certain people who like are just like phenomenal and like they do amazing stuff and like they inspire you, and I feel like they need more light, because like they're like just hidden in the shadows, because like they don't fit the stupid fucking societal expectations that people have. Anyways, so and I feel like people need this. Like, they need to like know that like not everything is like in your little safety box. Like, you need, like, I don't know, like, people, like, there's so many people who are like treated as like enemies, or people who are like seen as like different and like frowned upon by society, and like seen as like bad people, and they end up being like amazing people, and like just like the stupid societal like implications of like what they are is just, yeah. I'm being extremely vague here, but like I'm trying to be inclusive of like everyone that I'm thinking of right now, so like it's kind of hard. But this one YouTuber that I found, or it's actually these two guys that I found, they're pretty cool. They call their channel the Yes Theory channel, and ow. Okay. Sorry, okay, hold on. Wait, how much is my phone charged? Okay. I can probably uncharge it. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to find something to put you on. I guess this works. Okay, whatever. Okay. So the Yes Theory, they're these two guys who are like friends, and they do stuff. Wow, I'm so good at explaining stuff. Okay. Okay, I'll just use the last video that they did as an example, or the video that I just watched as an example. Like, so they decided to go on a trip, but they didn't like decide where they were going, like the normal way people do it. Like, they didn't just be like, oh yeah, I want to go to Europe because I've always dreamed of Europe, because like everyone says Europe is beautiful and blah blah blah, and like blah blah blah, and like the touristy places. They literally put on a blindfold and like got a dart and threw it, and then that decided where they were gonna go. And then they went there and they flew there, and they had these all things where they were like, if someone asked us to do something, we're gonna say yes. Like, if they asked us for money, we're gonna say yes. We're like, if like they asked them to like meet up with them for like a church thing or whatever, like anything like that anyone asked them to do for them, like they're gonna say yes to. And they're gonna like try and reach out to the locals and stuff, and they did, and it was super cool because they ended up going to meet up with like this church group, like a Bible study or something. And one of the dudes, you could tell he was uncomfortable with it because, like, I guess he's not really that religious, which I can relate, buddy. Like, I can so relate. Like, I would have been uncomfortable too. I was also a little bit uncomfortable. I was like, great, this is, because they ended up going to Missouri. I forgot to mention that. They ended up going to Missouri, which Missouri is, you know, one of those, like, flat countries where everyone has this, like, little thing where, like, a lot of countries in America are kind of, like, a little bit, like, patriotic. Let's be nice here. So they went there and they were kind of expecting it to be like kind of like a little bit whitewashed and like just like a bunch of like old men / women like who were white just like talking about God. And it wasn't. Like there were young kids there. There were like Hispanics. There were like African Americans. Like there were like a big selection of people, and they were like really like happy, and they were like they did games and stuff, and it wasn't just the whole typical like you sit down, you read a verse of the Bible, and then talk about it, like and and the guy who was like really unsure about it in the beginning like talked about how it was really neat because like he said that a lot of the points that they made were like not just about the Bible but about like real life, and they got to play games and stuff, and they got to eat food which is free, and so it wasn't just like talking about God and everything. Like it was about that, and they prayed like you as you would expect, but like it wasn't like, you know. And so he thought that was really interesting, and he thought it was going to be whitewashed too, and it wasn't whitewashed, and it was really cool. And then the next day they did this thing where they like crumpled up like I think 12 pieces of paper, and they were all like they had the most like bizarre like plans or ideas in there, and like they just randomly picked a paper, and then it was like whatever was there they had to do that day. And so they picked two papers because two guys, obviously. And one of the things was reach out to a local radio station and say something on the radio. Like, just randomly, like, just ask. Like, just be like, hello, local radio, like, we are a YouTube channel. Like, we would like to be on your show. Like, for, like, 10 seconds or more, like, you know? And surprisingly, the radio show said yes. And, like, it ended up being, like, this religious radio show, and so, like, again, the guy was kind of, like, a little bit, like, okay. And then so he went there, and it wasn't just a radio show. Like, it was, like, it wasn't just for Missouri, and it wasn't just Christian. It was, like, Hispanic, and it was, like, in Spanish, like, the whole thing. And luckily, one of the dudes spoke Spanish, so they were okay. But his Spanish was, like, not completely fluent, but, like, he did okay. And he was interviewed by the guy who worked at the station. He was talking about how the guy who worked at the station is Puerto Rican, and he, like, immigrated from Puerto Rico, and he's just talking about how there's, like, a huge community of Hispanics and Puerto Ricans in Missouri. And, like, I was shocked, like, the two guys were shocked, too, because, like, I've never heard that. Like, no one talks about that. Like, no one. Like, everyone talks about, like, the Midwest and, like, kind of, like, Southern, like, America. I can't believe I just said America like that. That was weird. Okay, anyways. But, like, they kind of see it as, like, people going, like, yeehaw. Like, we're conservative people. Like, you know? And, like, they weren't. Like, it was just insane. And I was just kind of felt bad because I was like, oh, wow, like, when they were going to Missouri, I was kind of expecting, like, sort of, like, a boring, like, well, then, like, conservative people, like, that's great. Like, but that wasn't all Missouri was, and they actually had, like, super cool stuff. And, like, it was cool. And, like, I don't know, like, it was just interesting. And then he ended up actually being interviewed by the guy, and they talked for, like, an hour. He interviewed them, and he was talking about how, like, the whole point of their YouTube channel, the Yes Theory, is to push past, like, societal norms and the fears that people have to, like, be, like, different and, like, push the limits. And he's, like, was, like, spreading, like, the love and, like, the connections that people can have, because you can have connections with, like, someone as old as 90-something or someone as young as 2, just based on you both being human and it doesn't matter your race, color, like your background, like, or your criminal record or anything. Like, it just matters that you guys are both living people who are capable of love. And it was just really interesting, and he talked about that, and it was all in Spanish, but of course there was captions, so I was like reading the captions like, oh my god. Like, but it was really cool, and I loved his like little message. I actually haven't finished the video because like I wanted to talk about this, but yeah, I can tend to do that a lot, like impulse. I might grow out of it because maybe it's just a teenage thing, or I might just continuously have this impulse thing. I'm really sure if that's bad or good. I don't know. And they're just like gonna like travel around and like do stuff, and I was like, that's so cool. Like, they're cool. Like, oh. And I can't believe that the radio said yes. Like, that's so cool. Yeah, like I honestly want to do something like that now. Like, I want to like pick a state that I haven't been to, and that like I probably would never want to go to. Like, I don't know, Michigan, Texas, like, I don't know, maybe one of those like really like conservative states that like I would never think about going to, and then go to, and then like explore and see like what is the state, like is the stigma around it like right, or is it wrong? Like, because people always complain about the assumptions that we make about each other, but and assumptions that we make about certain things as well, and countries and stuff, but like that's kind of how we survive, and like how we like, I don't know, like it's just like a reflex for people, I guess. I don't know. And like I want to see like if Missouri is the only one that doesn't follow the stigma like that society has put on it. Like, I want to see, because I have this goal. It's kind of stupid, but I want to visit all 50 states before I'm 30. I came up with this when I was like, I don't know, 15, 14, maybe even 13. I don't even remember. But like, I've been to a lot of states because I've traveled a lot because my mom's like income, as well as my dad because he does military, and just because he has the travel bug, and like we both love traveling. And I just kind of like wanted to know about like the whole country, because like patriotic, I don't know, like I don't know, I just really love traveling, and like I feel like I would like to know and interact with areas that I have never been to before and that are a part of the country that I live in, like, you know. Obviously I can't explore like everything, but like I want to explore at least some of it, because like you never know what you can find. And I want to try and do what these guys are doing and just kind of like randomly pick places, or just like do things that I would never normally do, and like reach out to people that I would normally never reach out to. Like a Bible study group, like I would never do that. And I probably had the same expectations as that one guy did, where like expecting all white people, and like maybe it's not like that, maybe it is, but like even if it is all white people and all they do is read the Bible and read and eat their little casseroles and their meatloaf, like they might still have something to contribute, and like I might still be able to listen to them, and I can't just say that I'm liberal and still have this closed off mind to people who don't agree with like my liberal ideals and stuff, because that makes me no different than a Christian homophobic. Like, if you think about it, because what they do is they believe in their God, and they believe in like the sinning and stuff, and they refuse to accept anything else. How am I any different if I claim that these are like everything that I live by, and blah blah blah, and like freedom of speech and like blah blah blah, and then I have a closed off mindset when it comes to people that I know are different from me? Like, how does that make me any different from the people that I'm against, you know? The conservatives or whatever. So I'm gonna try to do that. Obviously, it's kind of a big feat considering I'm 17 and no income, and yeah, want to finish like going to the 50 states until I'm like 30. Like, that's expensive. But I mean, I'll try. Maybe I should change it to when I'm 40. But like, I don't know. I made the goal when I was like 15, and I want to stick by it. But who knows if I will be able to, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and do what these guys did and go outside the box and explore new things and not just experience like new situations, like new like areas. Like I want to experience like new people and like interact with new people and like understand how people are like more, not just the new cool areas, you know? I don't know. It's probably kind of stupid, but like, I don't know. Okay, I'm done talking now. Bye.